This is the Orioles POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Baltimore Orioles. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Baltimore Orioles POSTCAST. As always, I'm Luke Slabaugh, and I'm your post-game show host here on the Locked On Podcast Network, exclusively for O's games this season. The O's have arrived on August 18th at 10 o'clock on the East Coast. The prospects are shining, the pitching dominant. This is the team that you and I have been thirsting to see all season long. Final score from Fenway Park, the Baltimore Orioles 6, and those sneaky good Red Sox 3. The Baltimore Orioles have now won 5 of 6 games, and all those 5 wins coming against teams currently in playoff spots. The Seattle Mariners, the end of that series. Houston Astros taking 2 of 3 down at Daikin Park, and now 1 from the Boston Red Sox in this quick 2-game set. Before we get started, go ahead and leave a comment down in the chat. Let me know where you're commenting from and who your player of the game is. If this is your first time here, this show is bonus content. We stream these live to YouTube. They're available on demand wherever you get your podcasts for free. It's bonus content, bridging the gaps between the night and Connor Newcomb's daily show. Connor does a fantastic job, and we get along quite well. Thank you for supporting Locked On Orioles. Like, subscribe, get on that channel for all that bonus content. We love you guys. 6-3 the final score, and we got to address the elephant in the room here. The 12-start streak that left-hander Trevor Rogers has been on is nothing short of incredible. And Trevor Rogers is showing just what his ceiling is after another quality start.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Get this. Trevor Rogers is the best pitcher in baseball. It's not hyperbole. Trevor Rogers is the best pitcher in baseball. A 12-start sample size is a little bit more than a 2-month stretch. He's pitching to a 1.41 ERA. That is the best stretch that an Orioles starter has ever thrown, ever in the team's history. You go back to Hoyt Wilhelm in 1959. Pitching to a 1.50 ERA in a much different era. Jim Palmer as well in 1975, a 1.69 ERA. Very cool, and both dominant Hall of Fame level pitchers. And I'm not saying Trevor Rogers is a Hall of Famer by no stretch. Mike Elias, you don't know who I am, and you may never. Extend Trevor Rogers. Pay the man his money. This is not an aberration. This is legit. There is enough film on Trevor Rogers right now. He deserves the money. He deserves to go into next season without any uncertainty in a free agent contract year. Put this man in the rotation and retool this team. Get it to the playoffs in 2026. Of course, Trevor Rogers loves pitching against the Boston Red Sox. He made his season debut on May 24th, that call-up when the O's were at their worst. They were 16 games under 500 at the time, and it was a stretch where they had a doubleheader on tap, and they needed an arm. Trevor Rogers was coming back from that kneecap injury and building up his lower body strength and was not pitching well in Norfolk. The results were an ERA in the 5s and the 6s. And that first start of the season blew everyone's mind. 6 1/3 innings pitched, no earned runs, 2 hits, and 5 strikeouts. We go to tonight, and Trevor Rogers is the best pitcher in the league. Leads off the bottom of the first, Nate Eaton, former Kansas City Royals legend. Nate the Great with a chopper, single to third base. But nothing doing after that. Roman Anthony strikes out on a front door slider. Then Alex Bregman rolling over for a 6-4-3 double play. 9-pitch inning. Actually believe that was, it was 6-4-3. Jackson Holliday on the double clutch in the relay there to Ryan Mountcastle at first. A 9-pitch inning for Trevor Rogers. The Red Sox help him out bottom 3. Omar Narvaez flying out to Dylan Beavers in right field on the first pitch, of fastball at 92 miles an hour. Getting Abraham Toro to ground out to Gunnar Henderson, a sinker at 92, and Eaton again, this time a changeup grounding out to Gunnar Henderson. Trevor's first 1-2-3 inning of the night. Bottom of the fourth, could have been some trouble. Roman Anthony leads off with a single, a 1-2 fastball high at 93 miles an hour. Anthony, by the way, an elite player, 21 years old, just signed an 8-year extension. The Red Sox love his makeup, comes from a great family. He's going to be a contender or a high-profile player in this division if the Red Sox keep contending. Rogers bounces back. He strikes out Bregman on a sweeper outside. And this is the first knock on his battery mate. Another 21-year-old by the name of Samuel Basallo. Called up yesterday, gets his first start behind the dish today. Can't squeeze that sweeper. It's a passed ball, and Anthony advances to second base. Bregman can't take first because there's a runner occupying first. Got to catch that ball. However, Romy then grounds out on a changeup to Jackson Holliday. And then Trevor Story grounds out to Gunnar Henderson on an 0-1 fastball at 94. So Trevor Rogers gets out of the inning unscathed. No harm, no foul, as Samuel Basallo catches his first game for the big league Baltimore Orioles. Bottom five, Rogers gets Jarren Duran striking out on a slider at 82 low and away. Ceddanne Rafaela grounding out to Gunnar again on a sinker low. Gunnar with a great pick. Defensively, Gunnar has been miles and miles above what he was projected to be. And then Omar Narvaez flying out to Colton Cowser in center on a changeup. Another 1-2-3 inning with good defense and good pitch-making ability. In the bottom of the sixth, Toro flies out to Colton Cowser. Eaton grounding out to Luis Vazquez at third base on a changeup. Then Roman Anthony striking out on a changeup. Basallo also blocking that ball and tagging out Anthony. At that point, 9 in a row retired by Trevor Rogers. He had faced 2 over the minimum. The league was hitting .090 with 2 strikes against Rogers. That was the stat that Masson pulled up on the broadcast. The best in the league only behind Tyler Glasnow of the Dodgers. For 6 1/3, Trevor Rogers was simply unhittable. Ran into some trouble there in the bottom of the 7th, and it was his own doing. Walks Alex Bregman to start the inning, inauspicious as he was just given a 4-0 lead. And from there, tried to make lemonade. Strikes out Romy on a changeup low. And Trevor Story, who had been a thorn in his side for most of the night, stretching back to a 12-pitch at-bat there in the second. Trevor Story takes an 0-2 sinker low and hits it off the green monster for a 2-base hit. Jarren Duran then hits a sac fly on an 0-2 slider to make the game 4-1. And then Trevor Rogers closes the book on his 7 innings, striking out Ceddanne Rafaela, the free swinger, on 3 pitches, closing with the fastball at 93 at the knees. Get this. Trevor Rogers has gone 10 consecutive outings with giving up 2 earned runs or fewer, the most in Orioles history, tied with Milt Pappas in 1964. This is 6 innings and 8 consecutive starts for Trevor Rogers, a career best, 8 consecutive quality starts, and quality starts in 9 of his last 10 outings. The best pitcher in baseball. Final line, 7 innings, 1 earned run, 4 hits, 1 walk that does come back and bite him, 7 strikeouts, and the ERA sits at 1.41. You know what's helping out Trevor Rogers and helping out the Orioles in this stretch, winning 5 of 6, is a balanced bottom of the lineup. Calling up your top 2 prospects will do just that. And with Samuel Basallo and Dylan Beavers in the 6 and 8 holes respectively, you're starting to see a commanding presence at the bottom end of the Orioles lineup. That had been the knock on them since the trade deadline. And to be honest, you would rather see Samuel Basallo and Dylan Beavers getting hacks in these situations than a Ramon Laureano or Ryan O'Hearn. Was talking about comps yesterday as we were reflecting on the debuts of these 2 players. Dylan Beavers reminded me of a younger Sean Green. Maybe a little less pop, maybe a little bit more speed, and maybe a little bit more muscle to him. But that's just the makeup that he looks like. He's taller than Sean Green, too. Great 2000s bat. And Samuel Basallo got kind of a Kyle Schwarber profile to him. Coming up as a catcher, the Cubs kind of botched Schwarber's development, and there was an injury there in 2016 where Dexter Fowler buzzsawed his knee off. It's a whole thing. We're not getting into it. And Beavers as well has also gained Christian Yelich comps. Yelich has had MVP seasons under his belt, came up with Miami, and now in Milwaukee with the best team in baseball, the Brewers. And these two guys are the reasons to watch. You've got two of the top prospects learning to adjust to major league pitching on the fly. My advice to you, the Orioles fan, would be stats and metrics and all this stuff, throw it to the side. Address this in 2026. There's going to be some swing and miss to these players' games. They're going to adjust. They're going to learn about breaking stuff, and the league will adapt to them. We saw it happen with Jackson Holiday very early on, Kobe Mayo as well. In fact, Kobe Mayo's still trying to find his pace in the big leagues. There will be growing pains. First couple games, however, kind of fun to see. I would focus more on the makeup, the, the horse sense, the composure. How do they deal with themselves in big moments? How do they act? In top of the second, Dylan Beavers really impressed me. Kind of inside out at a sinker to the shortstop. Trevor Story, 64 miles an hour off the bat. And a league average runner isn't beating that out. And Beavers does. He's got plus speed and he is cruising. Swiped 30 bags in the minors last year. And while it didn't lead to a run, it certainly showed the type of hustle that this guy has. You got to earn everything in the big leagues. And these two did spark the rally in the top of the fourth that ultimately played a big difference in this game.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
If you're new to the show, we kind of jump around in time. We'll pick this up top of the fourth. 1-0 Orioles, Samuel Basallo at the plate. 0-1 sinker, 94 miles an hour. He hits this opposite field. 339 off the top of the green monster. It's a double. Oppo pop from Basallo, 99 miles an hour off the bat. He admired that ball off the bat. And in batting practice, it was said that he was showing some power over the green monster, and he probably thought he got that. Nothing is earned in the major leagues, and he's a little slow out of the box. Granted, he does hustle and accelerate around first base. He slides in to second safely with a double. However, if that throw is maybe 6 inches closer to the bag, he's probably going tagged out with a single. And then a swinging bunt from Jeremiah Jackson to third base. It's a nice single for him. At that point, 14 hits in 14 games for the rookie Jackson. 25 years old, not a homegrown player. He had a multi-hit night. 15 hits in his first 14 games. That's going to play. So with two runners on and Samuel Basallo in scoring position, Dylan Beavers is at the plate against right-hander Dustin May. Taking some pitches. 3-0 count. And he gets a 95-mile-an-hour sinker in the zone. Third major league game for Dylan Beavers. He gives himself the green light. Swings, line drive to center field. A base hit that scores Basallo makes it a 2-0 game. You silly goose. Third major league game, free swinging 3-0. That is taboo. And it works because of the bat speed and the composure. If that backfires, you come out looking, expanding brain type deal. But the O's trust Dylan Beavers in that spot, and to have that in the 8-hole is incredible. It begs the thought that this production at the bottom of the order and this balance in the lineup is likely what manager Brandon Hyde envisioned for Jackson Holiday at the start of this season. When Holiday was hitting 9th, 8th, bottom of the order, perhaps he was hoping that he would be a more disciplined hitter and be able to lift that burden at the bottom of the lineup. Yes, it's August 18th, and the O's don't really have a shot to make the playoffs. However, this is encouraging to see just his third major league game. First multi-hit game for Dylan Beavers with 2 walks. And in the top of the 9th, 4-1 ball game. Runners at second and third for Samuel Basallo against right-hander Jordan Hicks, the former St. Louis Cardinals legend. Fastball 97 at the letters. Way up high out of the zone. And Basallo tomahawks it into center field for his second 2-run single in as many games. Makes it a 6-1 ball game. Samuel Basallo, given key hits. And this one a big difference maker given the final score. Yennier Cano slips up there in the bottom of the ninth as well as Dietrich ends, and the game is close. The game ends 6-3. And without Samuel Basayo there, this game's had a little bit more of a horror story bent to it. We're going to go over the 20-minute limit in this show. Let me know who your player of the game is in the chat. Coming up, we will reveal that. Some crooked numbers, courtesy of Gunnar Henderson and Ryan Mountcastle. Love to see that. And some injury news on the Orioles front. This is the Baltimore Orioles postcast. Show is brought to you by our favorites. It's PrizePicks. Daily fantasy platform that lets you turn your football predictions into real rewards. Preseason is heating up. College football isn't far behind. Make sure you tune into those squad shows. Ravens, Commanders, Bears, Panthers, Jets. You know what it is. Thoughts on the upcoming football season? Who are we most excited for? Aaron Rodgers and whatever offense they have decided to do in Pittsburgh? Maybe the little fade route over and over again for the Steelers? What else are we excited for? The Bears, Vikings, J.J. McCarthy? There's a lot to bet on. Download the PrizePicks app today and use the code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 in lineups after your first $5 play. PrizePicks, run your game. Show is also brought to you by FanDuel. August 26th is officially FanDuel Futures Day. It's a brand new holiday for football fans who live for bold predictions and preseason hunches. For just 24 hours, FanDuel is giving you deals on NFL season predictions. So whether you're calling your MVP, eyeing a long shot division winner, or ready to crown your Super Bowl champ before week one even kicks off, this is your moment. Take a flyer on the MVP race. Joe Flacco, minus $1 million. Cleveland Browns starting quarterback. Are we serious? Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your futures bets now, because Futures Day is one day and one day only. FanDuel, play your game. Who's our player of the game? Justice for Shedeur Sanders, guys. Let's be nice in the chat.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
In terms of win probability added, or WPA, it's kind of obvious Trevor Rogers is on an absolute heater. This guy holds the line when he doesn't have run support. He throws complete games when the offense doesn't give him anything. And he is the poster child for this O's rotation in August. After the trade deadline, it's been nails. We've seen Dean Kramer do incredible things yesterday. Brandon Young, all of a sudden, finding the holy grail of pitching for one night and one night only. It's incredible. And Trevor Rogers is that guy. Let's talk about the crooked numbers and some of the more fun things tonight. Gunnar Henderson going yard, his 15th of the season, tied for the team lead. Actively with Jordan Westberg and Jackson Holliday, and retroactively with Ramon Laureano and Cedric Mullins. Miss those guys. Good to see Ramon getting the love in San Diego. Top 3, 2 outs. Gunnar Henderson gets a first pitch fastball at 95. It's high. He doesn't even get that ball on time, really. It's more shaded, like he's hitting it opposite field, center, left, but it goes 414 to the deepest part of the ballpark, kind of near that garage door out there, that landing. And a 108 exit velo gave the O's a 1-0 lead. Furiously tagged that ball. You go back a half inning prior, the bottom of the second, and Trevor Story has this 12-pitch at-bat against Trevor Rogers. It's a 3-2 count. He's fouling off multiple balls, and it is the best at-bat of the game for the Red Sox. And the 12th pitch is a fastball middle at 94. Story gets a hold of it for a single. And with one out, Jarren Duran gets an 0-1 sinker, hits it to Jackson Holliday at second, trying to turn it for a double play. And it's a fielder's choice. Henderson's throw not in time, and Duran's got plus speed, so likely not getting him anyway. However, Story goes in feet first and makes contact with Gunnar. I watched baseball in the early 2000s. That kindled my love out here in the Midwest. And I remember vividly protesting in my mind or on message boards when the slide rule at second base went into effect and when the Buster Posey rule came into effect at home plate. Those guys, Personal opinion, kind of ruined the game for the more traditionalist side. And I'm not old by any stretch of the imagination. However, you got Gunnar pointing down at the bag, indicating a problem, and Jackson Holliday doing that as well. So talk about instant karma. Not a dirty slide. It wasn't like he went out of his way to tag Gunnar. However, it's a divisional rival. It's early in the game. You're making a statement, and these guys play the game hard. Gunnar Henderson got his sweet revenge. Good for him. And that's not the only thing Gunnar Henderson would do. We go top 7, left-hander Giovanni Moran in for Dustin May. Jackson Holliday leads off with a walk. Some erratic command early on, fastball breaking stuff not working for Moran. Luis Vazquez strikes out, and then Gunnar, with a full count, gets a changeup inside, ropes it into the right field corner near the pesky pole. It's misplayed out there by Anthony, and it goes down in the books as a triple. Gunnar's 5th of the season. Holliday scores, makes it 3-0. 2 pitches later, Ryan Mountcastle hitting cleanup. Fastball, middle, hits a single up the middle, rolling past Romy Gonzalez there at second base. Makes it 4-0. The O's finished the game 4 for 10 with runners in scoring position. And you can take that to the bank. Samuel Basayo's hit in the 9th, going to come up is huge, is clutch. Injury news in the top of the 1st. Jackson Holliday walks to lead off the game. Jordan Westbrook bounces out into a fielder's choice. Gunnar strikes out, and with 2 outs in the inning, Ryan Mountcastle extends it with a single. Westy having trouble rounding second base. He slips on his left leg. Some dirt gives out there. And then not being able to plant his right foot in sequence, that's mistimed, and he slips on that as well. So his right leg gives out as he rounds second base. He retreats to the bag, and immediately the trainer and interim manager Tony Mansolino come out to check on him. He leaves the game with right ankle discomfort. That's better than a hamstring injury, as some may have feared, because lower body injuries have been plaguing Westberg all season. He's got that index finger issue as well in his left hand. And this was the last thing you wanted to see. When the O's call up Basayo and Beavers, if they just went the rest of the season healthy, boom. Welcome back Tyler O'Neill eventually, and Kyle Bradish and Tyler Wells, and end the season with everyone feeling good singing Kumbaya. Not to be. Luis Vazquez takes over, subs in at third base, and top of the 9th actually leads it off, hitting his first career double. First career extra base hit for Luis Vazquez. So that's that. The O's carry on, and they have a 7-10 first pitch tomorrow on Masson with a chance to take this 2-game series. A sweep. We'll count it as a sweep. Could also make it 3 in a row. Could also make it 6 of 7 games. It would be floppy hat time. 3 games in a row guarantees you a floppy hat on the postcast. It's right-hander Tomoyuki Sagano against Buehler. Walker Buehler, 2-time World Series champion, cast away by the Dodgers, and for good reason. Arm's kind of toast this year. Buehler 7-7 with a 5.43 ERA. Tomo 10-5 with a 4.13 ERA. Those 10 wins lead the team. Buehler faced the Orioles on May 25th. That day right after Trevor Rogers made his season debut. It was a 5-1 Orioles win, gave up a home run to Dylan Carlson. And that was the start of the first hot streak that DC went on. Tomo hasn't faced Boston in his career just yet. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to talking about this rejuvenated Orioles team with you. And that'll do it for us on the Orioles postcast. The final score tonight, the Baltimore Orioles 6 and the Boston Red Sox 3. Good night. Stay safe. I'll see you right back here tomorrow night.